Hello everyone, I'm Carrie Tan, and today I'll be telling you about effective explosives. Believe it or not, this is going to be very mind-blowing. You get it? Because it's explosive? No? Okay. In this video, I'll be telling you the difference between combustion and detonation, the different types of explosives, so different types of bombs like TNT or atomic bombs, the factors, and explosion magic. Yes, you heard me, explosion magic. Now, the scientific factors would be, over time, explosives have evolved into stronger and stronger ones. In the 11th century, explosives were made with bamboo tubes, and in the 13th century, explosives were made with black powder or gunpowder, and is packed into iron shells. Technological factors can be about the different ways to create different explosives, or materials used to create more effective explosives. An example can be using nuclear fission and nuclear fusion to create explosives. Societal factors can be the cost, because the cost for each explosive is different. The environmental factors can be the landscape of the world, since if you use very heavy bombs, for example hydrogen bombs, it would change the landscape wherever you put it. Now let's talk about the problem. This problem that I came up with is very unique and original. It is totally not from anywhere or anywhere else, and it is not possible for you to ever hear about it up until now. The problem is, your friend Steven got into prison because he was throwing shit at Tim Hortons because he was mad at one of the cashiers. I mean, look at this guy. Look at that smile. How can you be mad at that, Steven? Huh? How can— Now you have to help him escape from prison by creating an explosion big enough to distract everyone for Steven to have a chance to escape from his cell. Now Steven, why do you have to throw shit? Now before going into what kind of explosive you should use, I must first tell you the difference between combustion and detonation. First, combustion. Combustion is produced by the reaction of oxygen and some sort of fuel at high temperature. As a result, the rate of combustion reactions is limited to both by the amount of fuel present and the amount of oxygen that comes in contact with it. Second, detonation. Detonation is not the same as combustion. It is a process of intermolecular breakdown. It relies only on the presence of a single suitable explosive material and enough energy to stimulate the breakdown. High explosives do not require oxygen, and they break down much more rapidly and are much more versatile than combustible material. My first option to you is regular bombs. Now before that, you must know what's an explosive. An explosive, like TNT or C4, is an explosive weapon, that uses the exothermic reaction of an explosive material to provide an extremely sudden and violent release of energy. If you didn't understand that, then it is the rapid increase of energy in an area causing increased movement of particles in a surrounding area based on kinetic molecular theory. But if you didn't understand that, then it's essentially very little things moving around a lot, and it's moving around too much, causing boom. If you didn't understand that, you need help. If you did understand any of that, then you might be wondering what would happen if you get hit by one of them. Now there are 4 types of blast effect on the human body: overpressure or shock, fragmentation, and impact, and heat. Now shocks aren't like something that you get scared of. Explosive shock waves can cause situations such as body displacement. Fragmentation is your body breaking into smaller parts, so you're dead. Also, military bomb tests have documented temperatures of up to 2,480 degrees Celsius. You're burnt. Example again can be TNT, or TRINITROTOLUENE. The chemical formula for trinitrotoluene is C7H5N3NO6. The atomic mass, or the total mass of protons and neutrons in an isotope or in an atom, is 227.131 Da. The systematic name for trinitrotoluene is 2-methyl-1,3,5-trinitrobenzene. And now, since I like explosions so much, I'll be telling you how to create TNT. There are two ways that you can create TNT. You can create it in an industry or in a laboratory. I'll be telling you how to create it in an industry. There are three simple processes to create trinitrotoluene. The first step is to nitrate the toluene with a concentration mixture of sulfuric acid and nitric acid to produce MNT, or mononitrotoluene. The second step would be to separate the MNT and renitrate it into DNT, or dinitrotoluene. The third and final step would be to turn from DNT into TNT, or trinitrotoluene. For this, you would have to use an anhydrous mixture of nitric acid and oleum. Oleum is essentially a composition of sulfur oxide in sulfuric acid. I'll go through it again. First, you take toluene and you nitrate it with a concentration mixture of sulfuric acid and nitric acid into mononitrotoluene, or MNT. Then you take the MNT, separate it, and renitrate it into DNT. DNT, you take it and you use an anhydrous mixture of nitric acid and oleum to make it into trinitrotoluene, or TNT. You might be wondering, wow, TNT is really easy to make. Well, maybe, but just don't go burn off your eyebrows like Mr. Yu. You might also be wondering, what happens if you use TNT in a building and when they use it on a building to demolish it? And basically, this is what happens. Allahu Akbar! The second option can be using nuclear fission or nuclear fusion. Now, what is a nuclear fission and nuclear fusion? Nuclear fission is either a nuclear reaction of a radioactive decay process in which the nucleus of an atom splits into smaller parts. And nuclear fusion is a nuclear reaction in which atomic nuclei of a low atomic number fuse to form a heavy nucleus with release of energy. Examples of using nuclear fission can be atomic bombs. Atomic bombs are nuclear weapons that uses energetic output of nuclear fission to produce massive explosions. Atomic bombs basically uses nuclear fission as its source of energy. How an atomic bomb is prepared? Now, atomic bombs are made of fissile elements, and what is fissile elements? It is isotopes of plutonium and uranium, plutonium-239 and uranium-235. Now, you gotta know that uranium-235 only occurs in nature. As I was saying, atomic bombs are made up of fissile elements that is enriched in the isotope that can sustain a fission nuclear chain reaction. When a free neutron hits the nucleus of a fissile atom like uranium-235, the uranium splits into two smaller atoms called fissile fragments, plus more neutrons. That means that this would create a chain reaction. Now you might be wondering, what would happen if an atomic bomb hits where you live? This is what would happen. Now my third option to you is explosion magic. Quality content! Look at this video of explosion magic being used. If you ignore the magic part of this, What kind of explosion is it? It can either be compressed rapid combustion, or it can be nuclear fission or nuclear fusion like I just talked about. Rapid combustion is a form of combustion. Now if you don't know what combustion is, please leave. Actually no. I don't know why the door closed, but I'm still here because I still gotta do this thing. Alright, now that you've seen the video, what kind of explosion do you think it uses? Is it using compressed rapid combustion or nuclear fission? Look at the video again.
光に覆われし漆黒よ、夜をまといし爆炎よ、コーマの名のもとに原初の崩壊を権限す。終焉の王国の地に力の根源を隠匿せし者、我が前にすべよ。エクセプロージョン。
By looking at the size and the radius of the explosion, it is very clear that it is using nuclear fission. However, if it is using compressed rapid combustion, then it would be a very inefficient way of using your mana. I mean, look at this! And this! I know these are animated, but look at this castle! Look at this freaking castle! In case you might be wondering what she was saying, this is what she was saying. Now the three outcomes of using explosion magic, the best magic in the world, would be 1. A major change in landscape, because as you can see in the videos, how big the explosions were. 2. It requires a ton of mana. And 3. Because of the amount of mana you use, you're probably gonna die from this. But it's worth it, right? Yeah. Out of these three options, 1. Regular bombs, 2. Nuclear fission and nuclear fusion, basically using atomic bombs or hydrogen bombs, or 3. Explosion magic. Don't question it. Explosion magic. Which one of these 3 would you choose? Before you choose, I will tell you what the problem is once again. Now your problem is that your friend, Steven, got into prison because he was throwing at Tim Hortons and basically everywhere. You have to help him escape from prison by creating an explosion big enough to distract everyone from Steven and force Steven to have a chance to escape from his cell. And the answer is, drumroll please. Remind me to kill my editor. Okay. And it is the first option, regular bombs. Alright, yeah. Okay, yeah. Alright, yes. This is why I hate you. Yes, the first option, regular bombs. As much as I want to use explosion magic, it simply doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. And, okay, 1. Regular bombs are realistic. 2. Explosion magic doesn't exist. 3. It's quite hard to get atomic bombs. Think about it. Where the heck in the world would you get an atomic bomb? Like, who would give it to you? This is my entire presentation. Thank you for listening. And if you might be wondering why I did explosion magic, or explosion in general, this is because of her. Now, if you don't understand any of this or what I'm saying, here's a quote by Stephen. Once again, thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you understood and enjoyed what I was talking about.